Hey guys, welcome back. We are switching it up today and I am doing a reading vlog. My first ever reading vlog. I am so freaking excited, you guys. I've been wanting to do one of these for at least a month at this point, if not longer. And I was just like, I don't care, I'm doing it. This is my channel, I'm just gonna do what I want. Even if people who normally watch me don't really read a whole lot, reading has become such an integral part of my life over the past few months, and I will explain why. So if you didn't know, earlier this year I got diagnosed with sleep apnea. I had a whole slew of health problems that were adjacent to the sleep apnea slash caused by the sleep apnea. One of them being like extreme chronic fatigue, obviously because I'm not sleeping well, high blood pressure, insulin resistance, weight gain, just like a whole slew of things. So I've been on this Zepbound journey because after I got diagnosed with sleep apnea, I got my CPAP and then I also started on Zepbound. So if you're interested in seeing my experience on Zepbound, I do a weekly vlog every single week that just kind of details like what's going on in my life, what side effects I'm feeling, kind of how I'm doing, what's changing in my life, and we just have like a good time over there. So I hope you guys go watch those. This video, I wanted it to focus more on reading because reading has seriously become such a hobby and a passion of mine because I can now stay awake to read a book. Reading was always something that was super prevalent in my life ever since I was a little kid. I remember like reading Anne of Green Gables, okay, I like basically just like skimmed the pages because I wanted to read as fast as my mom, who's like a super insane fast reader, and I would just like try to skim the pages so I could read as fast as her. But ever since then, like I have read very frequently my entire life. Like it's been a part of like my nighttime routine ever since like I was early enough to remember. My favorite genre was definitely fantasy. I loved getting lost in a different world. Like that was just my form of escapism and still is to this day. But because of my sleep apnea and everything that was going on, I could not stay awake to finish a book. Like I could not just sit on the couch and read without falling asleep. And now that I have more energy and my sleep apnea and my chronic fatigue is finally like getting managed, I have just been blasting through books. Because this has been such a prevalent part of my life, I feel like this is still very applicable to my Zepbound journey, but I know some people don't necessarily like reading or care about reading. So I wanted to make this vlog specifically for those of you who like reading and who are interested in like reading vlogs. I could watch reading vlogs all freaking day. I love them, especially Emmy Rossum, I think is her name. She is freaking amazing. I have binge watched all of her videos, I think, at this point. They're so good. So yeah, I just wanted to bring you guys along for a week of reading in my life. I would say I'm an average reader. I don't think I'm particularly like super fast or anything, but maybe like on the faster side of average. We'll see. You guys tell me. I don't really know. During the week, I don't have a ton of time to read because I do work 10-hour days and then I do like to go to a workout class afterwards, but I do feel like I still get a good amount of reading in per week. I usually finish like 1 to 2 books per week. So yeah, I mean, I feel like that's decent for someone who works full time. Right now, I am in the middle of Crescent City. I'm actually reading it on my Kobo, which I just got for my birthday, and I freaking adore this Kobo. I absolutely love it. I used to be a Kindle girly through and through, but I am definitely, I don't want to say like a strict Kobo girly now because I still love my Kindle, and I do have Kindle Unlimited, so I do make good use out of that subscription, so I'm not going to get rid of my Kindle altogether. But I just love the buttons. I love the buttons on the side of the Kobo. I like the reading experience. I don't know, I like it, okay? I can't help myself. But anyways, I am in the middle of reading Crescent City. I started this last week. I need to see how far along I am in my actual book. I bought the Crescent City version that has the first and the second book in both, so my percentage of read is technically off, so I keep having to check it on my Audible book that I have. According to my Audible book, I'm 64% of the way through, which is over half obviously of the way through. I really don't have that much left in this book. I think I have like 300 pages left, which isn't too bad. I don't think I could read all of that today, especially because I have other stuff I have to do today. Today is Monday, it's my day off, so technically I could just like sit and read the whole day, but Mondays usually I have appointments on Mondays and I like to do a bunch of YouTube stuff on Mondays, so I don't think I'm gonna have enough time to read the rest of this book, but I think I can challenge myself to potentially finish this by tomorrow, which would mean that I finish this in less than a week because I started it Wednesday. So yeah, I think that's pretty good for an 800-page book. The other books I have on my radar for this week include all of the following. These. So I'm a huge mood reader. I do not like to be forced to read something that I don't want to read. I like to have a stack or like a TBR for the month that I can mood read from. But definitely just because we're in the season of fall, I have been loving the fall releases lately, the spooky season kind of things. It is November when I'm filming this, but I'm still kind of in like this spooky fall mood. So I am gonna read, or potentially read, like some spookier reads. But yeah, this is the list that I have to go from this week. I'm definitely not gonna finish all of these this week, but I think I could maybe blast through some of these smaller books. So I'm gonna quick make a coffee and then we can go to the couch and I will tell you all about all of these books that I might potentially pick to read this week. First book on my list is People Watching by Hannah Bonham Young. The only other Hannah Bonham Young book that I have ever read is Out on a Limb, and I absolutely loved it. It was a 5-star for me, as I think it was for a lot of people. It was just so great, and I loved the writing style mixed with the very difficult topics that were discussed in that book, but also with like the cute and lighthearted banter and like the relationship building that happened. So I'm expecting a lot from this book. Next one is It's Different This Time, and honestly I don't really know what this one is about. I purely bought it because of the cover. I was at one of my like local romance only bookstores in Milwaukee and I saw this one and I was like, I have to get that. It's so pretty. I do know that this one came out this year in 2025. Next up we have Soul Searching by Lila Sage. This one I meant to get to last month because obviously it's like a paranormal romance and that kind of thing, but I didn't get to it, so I'm gonna prioritize it this month for sure. I am really excited to read this book by Lila Sage. I have not read any other book from her. I have been focused very much so on like fantasy recently, and I have not been reading a ton of my contemporary romance books. I feel like I get in super contemporary romance like mindsets when I'm in the spring or the summer, but this is going to be my palette cleanser for November if I feel like I need one. Next up on the list, I don't think I'm going to be getting to this one this week, but we'll just see kind of where the mood takes us. But this one I was thinking I could read a little bit closer to Thanksgiving if I don't get to it this week, but this is the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. I do have it on my Kindle, and I also had to buy this like really cute sprayed edge edition of the book because it was just calling my name. Next up we have Bury Our Bones in Our Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. If I'm feeling more like I need a more of like a spooky book, like a more of like a fiction, contemporary fiction type book, this is the one I'm going to be reaching for. So this is about vampires, lesbian vampires. Again, I don't know what more you could want from like a spooky season book. And then last but not least, if I just cannot get away from the world of Crescent City, I do have the second book in the Crescent City series, which is called House of Sky and Breath, on my potential to be read this week. So I typically, when I'm reading a fat series like this, especially from Sarah J Maas, I like to take a break in between each book because I just need like a palate cleanser. So that's where some of these short, snappy, like romancy type books will come into play. Anyways, I'm going to dive into reading Crescent City. I have basically until 9:20 to just read my little heart out. About an hour and a half. I read 100 pages. I am in shock. If you've read Crescent City, I don't want to give anything away because this is a spoiler-free reading vlog, but I am just about to start chapter 67. So something just happened on a boat. Things were revealed. I did not see that coming. That was like a total surprise to me. I have been trying to figure out the mystery. There's a huge mystery in this book. There's like, you know, like a big mystery that they're trying to solve essentially the entire book. And as one does, I've been trying to figure it out the entire book, and I had my theories, and I was not anticipating what we just found out. I'm kind of in shock. I don't know what to do with myself. I like want to keep reading, but I also feel like I need to process my emotions, and I don't know what to do with myself. Did you guys have this experience while you were reading Crescent City? Like, I just feel like I love this book so much, partially because it's a fantasy, but also because it's set in modern day times, but with the element of fantasy in it. But then there's also like a huge mystery this entire time. Like, and not just like a mystery of like, you know, war or anything like that, but it's like a mystery of solving like a murder. And that to me is fascinating. I'm already more hooked with Crescent City than I ever was with Throne of Glass. I want to like frame this book. I absolutely love it. I think I am going to just like take a moment to breathe, and I do want to just like open up my house a little bit. You know, it's like, it's nice out now. It's daytime, it's sunny. I think I'm gonna have an energy drink. My brain needs to like, you know, come back down from the earth that it was just transported to. It's official. I finished Crescent City. I don't know what to do with myself. I don't know what to do. What does one do after reading a book like that? I'm sorry if you hear a machine of sorts. I think my neighbor is doing some lawn care. This book was so incredibly good. I don't even know where to begin to articulate my thoughts on this book because it was truly so incredibly amazing. There were so many themes that I feel like were incredibly relatable to people of any age, honestly. It goes from us just living alongside a person who was in like the prime of their life to then being thrust into a very long string of like the worst time of someone's life, then back to trying to find a place of stability. And I feel like so many people can relate to that. I feel like one of the reasons I like this book so much is because I have experienced stuff like that in my life, and I feel like I'm at the point in my life where kind of thinking back on those times in my life doesn't open up the wound again. You know, like my wound has healed, and it's more of just like not even a bruise when I think about that part of my life. I can see where our characters by the end of the book are like healing. And it's not just one character. There's like so many characters in here that I feel like go through that really tough time, and by the end of it, the characters are entering a place of healing. But it also left me on such a cliffhanger that I want to pick up the next book right away. It just, I don't know, like it was a conclusion, but not a conclusion at the same time. I feel like maybe I do need a little bit of a palate cleanser, and then I'll jump into the next Crescent City book. I'm definitely between these three books right now for like a palate cleanser type book after Crescent City. And these I know I can finish within like a day or two. So I think I'm going to read People Watching next. This will be a nice little cleanse of the palate before I get into the next book in Crescent City. Also, that leaf blower is so incredibly annoying. It is just around 5 o'clock and I am getting ready to read People Watching. I have been editing all afternoon, and I have just been telling myself, like, if you just edit a little bit more, if you finish this, then you can start your book. And it's finally time to start my book. This book so far is very good. I really like it. If you were to open this and not even tell me who the author was, but I could just like read the book and, you know, kind of try to guess who the author is, I would definitely have Hannah Bonham Young as one of my guesses. Her writing style is so unique and it's very obvious. Like it's super obvious that it's her that's writing this. Like it's almost like you can hear her writing this. Does that make sense? There's some authors I feel like that just have such a distinct way of writing or a distinct kind of pattern to their writing that you know exactly who the author is just by reading the words on the page. And Hannah Bonham Young is definitely one of those people. Like I just love her writing style. I feel like it's very witty. It's very descriptive. Like she's in one of the first few chapters, she's describing the house that one of the characters lives in. And there's like 4 different colors and she describes where every single color on the house is, but it's not overly done. Like it's very concise. It's to the point. It doesn't drag on, but it gives you so much information in just that little paragraph. So I really like the descriptiveness of that. I feel like that's very helpful in kind of painting a picture of what's going on, and I really appreciate that. I could definitely see where some people might not jive with the way that the romance is playing out, but I think that it's actually amazing that she wrote a story like this, because I feel like so many books that don't have like a yearning or a kind of like longer drawn out process of the romance and that focus more on the physical part, they get like such a bad rap. And I don't think that's fair, because a lot of relationships do start physical first. Like not every relationship is going to be this like fairy tale magical like longing type situation. Like a lot of it is messy, a lot of it is physical at first, and then it becomes emotional. Like I like that she went to this place, and I like that she tried something different. Those are just my thoughts, but so far I'm really liking this. I was hoping to get to page 200, although I don't know if that's completely possible tonight. Anyways, I think I'm gonna go take a shower and then I'm gonna get all cozy and I'm gonna go to bed. I'm all clean. I have my reading blanket on, and yes, this is a blanket. My mother got it for me at Barnes & Noble for my birthday, and it's literally the best thing ever. I am obsessed with it. It is a blanket that has armholes and a hood. It really is the perfect reading experience. It is currently 8:15 and I'm just gonna read until I drop to sleep. Let's go. It is a couple days later from the last time I saw you guys. I have since finished People Watching by Hannah Bonham Young, and I'm gonna rate this book a 3.25 stars because I honestly just was not in the mood to read this. I was in the mood to read Crescent City, and I don't know why I didn't just like pick up Crescent City. Like I thought I was in the mood for a palate cleanser, but then I couldn't stop thinking about the second book in the Crescent City series the entire time I was reading this book. So I kind of honestly just like sped through it. I didn't feel like I really got connected to the characters at all. I liked the plot with like the family dynamics. I thought that was really interesting. And I feel like it's actually a really kind of believable story with the conflicts and the family issues that come up. So I did like that. I think this was kind of just a situation of good book, but I wasn't in the mood for it at the time. So I did start the second book in the Crescent City series, The House of Sky and Breath. And I did read like the first 3 chapters, but I think I'm just gonna start over and reread it because I don't feel like I was fully invested like when I was reading it. I'm just gonna start over. So I'm really excited to finally be back in the world of Crescent City. I personally loved the first book. Like I said before, like I just absolutely loved it. So I'm really excited to continue on with the series. I feel like this is just what I am in the mood for right now. So that's what we're gonna do. Good morning, friends. It is currently Saturday, so we're just continuing this reading vlog because I barely had a chance to read this entire week, which I feel like is not normal for me. Like normally I get to read for like an hour or so before I go to bed, but this week I was so tired and I just did not have time to do that. So that's okay. I am getting a lot of reading done this morning. I'm really enjoying my reading journey so far with the House of Sky and Breath. I absolutely love it. I will say it took me just like a little bit longer to kind of get into the plot than it did with Crescent City. I feel like with Crescent City, I don't know, I was just like hooked immediately, and with this one it took me a second to like get into it, but I'm in it now. I'm in it. I'm currently on chapter 12, which is 15% of the way into the book, so I still obviously have a while to go. And this time I have been listening to a couple chapters on audiobook. I feel like with fantasy books, I have to start by reading the book before I go into the audiobook, because if I don't start by it, one, I don't know who the characters are, because the way that I pronounce them and I see them written down in the book is so different. So I always like to visually like see the people's names and then listen to them on audiobook. I feel like that works better for me. And then I also just feel like reading the book helps me immerse myself into the world a little bit easier than listening to it on audiobook, which I know some people are the opposite, like they immerse themselves based off of listening first, but I just marinate better when I read, and then I can get into the story with the audiobook after I've read a couple chapters and kind of know what's going on. So that's what I did with House of Sky and Breath. Like I said before, I'm really liking it. The plot is starting to thicken a little bit, and I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying my time. I'm hoping that I can finish this book this weekend, which is a lofty goal. I am still totally in a fantasy mood. Like, I want to read nothing but fantasy books. And I don't know if I'm going to have the itch to just continue this series after I finish House of Sky and Breath. I don't know. I feel like that would be really satisfying to just like completely finish the series. But who knows, maybe I'll want a palate cleanser. I'm also doing so bad at my November TBR. I've read one book, and that was People Watching. Technically, this was on my November TBR, The House of Sky and Breath, but I didn't put it in my cute little graphic on my phone. So you can see I have all the books that I want to read on my TBR there. I put this on my phone, my iPad, and my desktops on my computers so that I'm constantly reminded of the books I want to read. I mean, it's only November 8th, so I still definitely have time, and I think it would be fun to do a reading vlog where I just try to like crush this TBR and read as many of the books as I can in like a week or something like that. I also think I might be getting a little bit sick, which is not ideal. But we're just powering through. We're just going to power through. We're going to have a low, chill weekend. And yeah, just read. See what we can get through. It's a couple hours later. I have made dinner. I tidied up around the house a little bit. I did physically read on my Kobo, and then I've just been listening to it on Audible for the rest of the time. But I got to chapter 27. Actually, I'm a little bit past it in the audiobook, but the beginning of chapter 27 is page 299. So I am basically at 300 pages, which is awesome. I've read 260 pages today, and it's only 6:20. We've started to have some like plot thickening and plot twists between a new character that was introduced in this book that was not in the first book. At least I don't think he was. If he was in the first book, it was just for a very, very short amount of time. There's some like interesting dynamics between him and then our FMC. So I've really enjoyed following their kind of trajectory. I think that's really interesting. And then the male love interest in this book and our FMC, I am following their future with great interest. This is definitely like a slow burn romance. There's adult things that happen in here, but like it's a slow burn for sure. And if you read the books, I feel like you know what I'm talking about. Like there's definitely adult content in here, but it's slow going and it's not frequent. So I personally am enjoying that. I don't like when books are too spicy. Typically, if a book is super spicy, I tend to just like flip through the pages because I'm like, unless it's forwarding the plot in some direction, I don't really care to go into the details of it. I like that they're in there. Like, I like knowing that like they're having that connection, but I don't necessarily need to like read into it too much, especially when they're back to back. I need to finish editing a YouTube video and then I think I'm gonna continue my reading for the night. I finished it. I officially finished House of Sky and Breath. This took me way longer than I would have wanted, way longer than I would have liked to finish it, but I'm happy that I finished it and I feel good. I feel like I ended this book enjoying it. I definitely had the same experience that I did with Iron Flame, where I felt like the first, I almost want to say like 2/3 of the book was kind of boring for me. Like, not gonna lie, it was a little bit like, okay, I'm just kind of dragging on. I still thought it was interesting. It still captivated my attention, but it wasn't like, I must read this and I'm gonna cancel all my plans and go and read this immediately. So that's how I felt about the first Crescent City book. It was like, I don't care what I had planned, I'm not doing it. I'm just gonna finish this book. This book, I was like, I can listen to it on audiobook. I can do other things while I'm reading it. I don't feel like I need to like, you know, cancel all my plans. I did rate Crescent City a 5-star. So I think for this one, I'm gonna rate it a 4.25. I feel like that's fitting because I don't think it was bad and I liked the magic system. Like, I liked learning more about our characters. I liked the new characters that came into the book, and I liked like seeing some of the old characters like carry on with their romances and like improve their life basically and learn from their life and all that kind of stuff. For some reason, a couple of the things that the main character did in this book just reminded me of Aelin, and it reminded me how I kind of got mad at her in those books. And so I am gonna dock some points off for that. One, I feel like that was really similar to Throne of Glass, and it's the same author, so I feel like it would have been nice if we kind of switched things up a little bit. But I also just like, I wasn't as captivated by this book as I was the first, but it was still really good. I would still recommend it to people. I still liked this book better than I liked some of the Throne of Glass series books, so for me, this is still a 4.25. I'm gonna close out this reading vlog here. I had so much fun reading with you guys over the past few days. If you love reading type vlogs, please let me know. You can leave like a little yellow heart in the comments because I really want to know if this is something that you guys would continue enjoy watching. I want to know what you guys are reading. I want to know if you guys have any recommendations for me. I am in a complete fantasy mood. Like, all I want to read is romantasy, fantasy, epic fantasies, fantasy with a little bit of romance. I'll even throw in a little sci-fi. But I'm really just like in my fantasy mood right now. So if you guys have any recommendations, please let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!